Hello viewers, welcome to my channel MathComp. So today I will be teaching you how to type a C program to read the matrix elements and print the matrix elements as well as the address of the matrix elements. So come on, let's start. So as you know, I'm going to use code blocks. To open a new file, you have to click on new file, empty file. You also have another option, that is file, new file, and then file, new file, empty file. Or also you can press Ctrl Shift N. Okay, so I'm going to start my coding. As you know, we have to start coding with the header file include stdio.h. It will contain all the library functions. I better convert it to C or C++ so that I'll have the entire code in the proper alignment. Okay, so we know matrix can also be called as two-dimensional array, which will have rows and columns. That is, in arrays we have three types. One is one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. For one-dimensional array, you'll have only one column or row, anything, either one column or only one row. You'll have any of these. And then for two-dimensional array, you'll have rows and columns both. And for multi-dimensional array, it depends on the order of the, it depends on the, subscript. That is, if it is having one subscript, it'll have one-dimensional array, two subscript, two-dimensional arrays. And then for n subscript, it'll be having n dimensions. So here, for matrix, we are going to use two-dimensional array. So we have typed the header file. Now we have to type main function. Int main. So we have to start the program by declaring all the variables that we are going to use. I'm going to use integer variables. The other types that you have, the other data types are float, that is used for decimal points of fractional values, and then characters, and then you use long for integer value is acceptable only to certain value. If you want to use values greater than that, you have to use long. Similarly, float is accepts only up to certain fractional values. If you want to reach values greater than that, you'll have to use double. So for me, integer is sufficient. So I'm just gonna type int. The variables that I'll be using is generally for two-dimensional array. I will have to have the order of the array, that is number of rows m and number of rows n, columns, n is number of columns. And then I need, for loop, I need ij. And then we forgot something important, that is the array. You will have to give the array size. I will take 20. Since you have rows and columns, you will have to specify both. Okay, I think that's the sufficient data. So I'm going to read the number of rows and columns present in the array from the user. So I have to use scanf function. Before going to scanf function, I will have to type the statement saying enter the number of rows and columns of the matrix, so that the user, once he runs my code, he will know what he have to do. Okay, so printf enter the number of rows and of the matrix, rows and columns of the matrix. It's quite big. And then semicolon to terminate the code. Now I will have to read the values. Scanf. I'm using percentage d, it's small d, because for integer it's percentage d, for float it is percentage f, for character it is not percentage c, it is percentage s. Please remember, I have to read the values of both m and n, so I'm giving twice the same thing. And then m comma n, but it is not just m comma n, it is ampersand. Ampersand, it is used to read the values. Okay, now when I run the code, I'll get this statement, and then if I enter the order, it will take it in. What is the next step? I will have to give a code to enter the array elements. So before that, I'll tell the user what they have to do. Printf enter percentage %d, enter the matrix. So it's not array here, it's the matrix. So I have to tell the user to enter the matrix. Now I have to write the for loop to enter the matrix. For initialization I is equals to 0, I less than n, I increment. First m for rows and then for columns. So for rows I have given the for loop. Now for columns I have to give for j equals 0, j less than, now columns n, j plus plus. Now again here I will have to give the scanf statement. Scanf, what should I read? The array. So it is percentage %d. The array elements are also integers as I have specified above. Now I should read, for reading you have to use ampersand symbol, a of I j. Okay, and then this is my, what to say, this is the statement for reading the matrix. Okay, next, now I'm gonna output the matrix. What should I type? I should use printf statement, but first I will not use the statement directly. The matrix is, now I should again use for loop. I will copy paste this thing just to save time, and then after this here I will change it as printf, and then if ampersand symbol is there, it will print the address. I will teach it in the next step, and then here you will have the matrix. And to align the matrix in proper way, what I will be doing is, I will, after it completes filling one row, it should move to the next row, next line. So I will be using printf statement, and I will give the statement new line /n. This is just to move to the next line after completing the first row. Okay, also here I need to give tab space so that all the elements do not come together. Now what I'm going to do, again I'll copy paste the address of each elements. Okay, now I will have to print the address of each matrix element is, and now I'm gonna again, sorry, I'll just save time by doing this. Even you guys can do the same. Is, I forgot to add semicolon, control V. So here I'll have to do one more change. Ampersand is fine, but I should print it. Ampersand will give you the address of the element in the CPU. Like at what memory space the element is present, it will be given by the ampersand sign. Now my code is complete. Since I have given int main, I have to give return 0. Please don't forget that. So this is my code. I hope we can run it now. I'm going to run the code. Now I'll have to enter the number of rows and columns. Now I will have to enter the matrix elements. I will enter in any order I wish to. So it is the order of my matrix is 3 rows, 3 columns. So the number of elements that I'll have to enter is 9 elements. Sorry. Actually, I did not add the for loop for rows. So I had an error. Also, for getting the output in proper manner, I will be doing some changes here. Now let's run the code. I'll give the order as 3 rows and 3 columns. Since I have 3 rows and 3 columns, the number of elements that I'll have is 3 into 3, that is 9. So I'll have to enter 9 elements now. So this is my matrix. I think I have not done proper alignment. So I'll get back and do proper alignment to get proper output. Now if I run the code, I will get the matrix in proper alignment. This is my 3 cross 3 matrix, which is aligned properly. Once it completes the first row, as I have given printf and new line, it will move on. And this is the address of each element. This is the address of element 1. This is the address of element 2, and so on.